Hey you guys, this is Honey.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Mauricio.
Making Changes is about
Interviewing people from the community.
everybody has a story.
We talk about their obstacles, we talk about challenges,
You never know. Sharing your story might help somebody else.
what they go through, how they get through it,
And we also give you resources that can help you out.
and how they overcome them.
So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. Hi everyone, welcome to Making Changes. On today's episode, we have Antoinette, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her story.
Hey everybody, my name is Antoinette. I'm from Long Beach, California. I've been doing nails now for a little over 7 years. I started in Texas. I've recently just moved back to California. But yeah, I've been in nail tech for that long, and
How long were you gone for?
I was gone for 10 years. 10 years.
How was the transition from California weather to Texas?
Well, it was a big transition. You said weather?
Yeah.
Oh, well, yeah, no, the weather, now I know why people pay for California weather, you know what I mean? Because you get the 4 seasons all the time. But no, it's humid, it's hot, it's rough.
Was it hard? Because you have kids, right? Was it hard for them
I do
to
have
adjust?
kids. No, so when I went to, I'm 40 now, so 10 years ago I was 30, I was just kind of starting my family. So I only had 2 children at the time.
Okay.
Right? Yes, because my oldest is 13. But yes, no, I only had 2 children at the time, so it was obviously not that hard because when they're younger, it's easier to adjust. You're not going to make your best friends when you're in kindergarten and first grade. So it's actually, since now that we've moved back, we've been back now almost for a full year, it's actually been harder for them to move back over here because they were used to Texas for so long. But, but that was a good thing because my nail business is growing, and that's kind of, you know, something that brought us back over here. And I wanted to come back home and be able, if I was to, the way I looked at it, if I could do it over there in a state where I knew nobody, I had no friends or nobody, you know, when I was started to do nails, social media wasn't big. You know, I was putting ads on OfferUp and working in, I really was.
How did that work out?
It worked out great because it taught me it pushed me towards being an entrepreneur. So when I'm telling you I'm doing I was running specials for like $35 for nails, right? Fully blinged out. I would go find all kind of design stuff to put on nails. But I worked inside of a nail salon in the mall, right? So it's, you know, high volume, got a lot of clients coming in and out, in and out, in and out. And I noticed I had, wanted to get a little bit more artistic in what I was doing rather than just, you know, getting people in, getting people out. And I started taking, you know, putting ads because people would come in and just want a gel manicure. Very common in the mall for someone to come in and get just a manicure and a pedicure, right? So I kind of wasn't feeling like I was doing what I really set out to do when I first set out to want to do nails. So I would put ads on OfferUp and Facebook, and people would come in, and sometimes it was embarrassing because, you know, one time, you know, this lady walked in and she was like, I'm here. She goes to the receptionist and she says, I'm here for this ad. Someone put an ad in OfferUp, and you know, they're all, you know, speaking. I don't speak Vietnamese, so obviously I don't know what they're saying, but I know it was a salon, so it was, you know, I wasn't by myself. You know, I was commission based, and it was ran predominantly by the Vietnamese culture. At the time, they dominated the industry. But I feel like now it's more common to see Latinas and Black girls, you know what I mean, in the industry. We're kind of taking over where we were the customer. Now we want to be able to provide the service. And it's probably for things, like I said, you know, being in that artistic phase, you know, a lot of times it's just get in, get out, get in, get out. And I know a lot of us have that nail salon story where one nail's crooked, or they say they're going to do you a design, and girl, either you fight with them, right, or you just most of the time, 9 out of 10 people are just gonna go ahead and be like, girl,
I'm out,
just put the nail, put the color. But no, anyways, so But yeah, so, you know, kind of like the joke of the salon, like you did, wow, you know, but I was like, I wanted to encourage people to come in and do things, step out of the box so that it, you know, kind of challenged me. And at the time, nail art was not the way it is nowadays. There wasn't the TikToks, there wasn't, you know, people going viral. That word wasn't thrown around a lot 10 years ago, right? So that was my way of kind of starting, you know, things like that. And then I noticed over time that I was able to bring in my own clientele, and I'm out there buying my own supplies. So it kind of pushed me to be like, wait a minute, if I'm giving you half of my money, and there are days where I'm sitting here with my, you know, my offer up ad, and I'm getting people in, why am I paying you? Right. So it kind of pushed me, you know, whereas they were laughing at one point, I'm laughing when I'm leaving, packing my stuff, because I know I'm about to go rent this studio. I was totally stoked, you know, when I rented my first studio. To me,
how long did it take for you to do that? From when you started? Right.
So when I started in 2015, I started doing nails. And I want to say it made 3 years. Nice. Maybe about 3 years it took from when I first started doing nails, working in those, like I said, high volume salons, 3 years before I finally was like, you know what, I'm gonna do, well, you know, you guys, I'm gonna laugh myself all the way to entrepreneurship. And, you know, I did. And, you know, now I hope to encourage, you know, people before, you know, it takes, you know, not to say that 3 years was so hard to do, but, you know, I wish I would have had a little bit of more of a mentorship. But, you know, your trials become your tribulations, and so, you know, I made mistakes and I learned along the way. So that's what I feel like makes me a better, right? You know, I teach too. I also, I'm an instructor, so it helps me when I'm helping others, because I've already made some mistakes. And I know that even though I really didn't want to do those gel manicures and those pedicures, it was teaching me, you know, certain steps and, you know, knowing why a nail does certain things. Or if you tell me, oh, you know, I injured my finger, and people automatically want to do something, and I'm like, no, do this. But anyhow.
That's great. So let's back up a little bit. What made you go to Texas in the first place?
So, okay. Again, I'm 40 now. So when I was 18, I caught a felony. I caught a felony at a very young age, right? Pretty serious enough that I ended up going to a state prison. That's another story, but I feel like I shouldn't have been forced to go to prison at that age for just having done something so young, because here I am sitting here today, and had I not had that felony, maybe I would have started this entrepreneurship journey a little sooner. But so I caught a felony when I was 18, right? I go to prison. I get out of prison, and now I have a felony, right? And it's not one of these where, oh, you do good, you get tapped on the hand, you get expunged, right? Not to put anybody down for getting expunged. I wish I could get it expunged, but you know, you're in a state penitentiary. Yeah, that's not gonna get expunged. So now I'm this young woman, I'm a single mom, you know, her dad's in and out of prison. This is just the lifestyle that we know, you know, this is what we're raised in. This is when you open the door, this is what's in the streets, right? So I got a felony now, and I'm an adult, and I'm like, you know, what do I do? What jobs are gonna take me? So many times of getting turned down, so many opportunities with people that I know, family members, friends, like, I could get you in, girl, but you know, that felony is like, it's you know, nobody. And then it was for theft, right? So it was for felony GTA.
Did you have a public defender?
I did have a public defender.
So they advised you to take that felony?
Right away. Like, of
course,
right away.
That's what they do.
Right away. Look, this is the bet you're gonna get out. This is what, you know what I mean? You, especially because even a little bit further back, I did a lot of juvenile hall at a young age, right? So I feel like and I don't want to call myself institutionalized, but at that age, I kind of was, because I was in juvenile hall. I mean, a lot, right? And so when you know, he's telling me, all you got to do is, you know, you'll do half. They're kicking people out early. This was back in 2002 or 2003. And this is when overcrowding in California prisons was starting to really, really shake, right? And so they're going to kick people out. You'll probably get up there and you won't even make it out of reception. Bull crap. I stayed reception for like 3 months in the shoe because anyways. But I did a lot of time doing reception, and I was a very young woman, and it was nothing that I should have been subjected to at that age, right? Because he should have said, look, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna, reset it or something. Like, you're not gonna plead guilty to this felony and you're not even 21 yet. You're gonna go to a state penitentiary where you're amongst, people who are murderers, people who are repeat offenders, drug addicts, you know what I mean? There's so much going on in these prisons that you're subjected to at that age, and it's either gonna eat you up and spit you out, or you know what I mean, or you're not, or you're gonna succumb to it, and you're gonna be that person, and you're gonna be the one when you leave and you walk out of those gates and they're like, we'll see you in a couple of months, and you're like, and I'll never forget. I wish I would know the name of the guard that said that, because I never went back, right? But they do that just to be, dicks or whatever, you know what I mean? Oh, we'll see you, you know what I mean? Yeah, you're not gonna come back, right? Like, you're dressing out to leave. Oh, let me guess, you're not gonna come back, right? Like, all right. But I didn't. Right, so here I am today talking to you. So
fucked up, because I feel that so many people got robbed from their time.
So many people. I was lucky enough that I was able to still do what I had to do there, and walk and be okay, you know what I mean, and walk the yard and get out and be like, hell nah, I'm not going back. That ain't for me. I could not. I never had my daughter visit me. Kind of even get a little choked up, but I never had her visit me because I was like, no way, I'm on punishment like that. It was serious. I was like, this is crazy. I was realizing that this isn't the life for me, because I even just being there, seeing like, dang girl, you literally got out and you are already back. When you're on parole, they can pick you up from the streets and take you straight back to prison.
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
Hey everyone, so today's episode of Making Changes is actually sponsored by our good friends from Micheladas El Changez. Would you like to tell us a little bit about your business? How did you start?
Sure. Well, me and my wife started this back in 2020 with it was our daughter's baby shower. We said, let's put something up, and everybody loved it, and my wife and I were like, we should do something with this.
Let's do it.
Slowly but surely we started doing it. We started doing events,
nice,
private caterings, and
so you do private caterings and all that. Yeah. For the people that don't drink alcohol, do you guys something special for them?
What they call virgin micheladas, either with squirt or mineral water. And yes.
And you do events?
Yes. Right now, we just booked. Like 2 days ago, we booked with Michelada Rumble.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
So that's our third time going over there.
Nice. Anything coming up that you might want to let the audience know so they could keep an eye out?
Next month is going to be our introduction again, doing events.
Okay.
We took a little break, but we're coming back strong again next month with a Michelada and Taco Festival in the city of Riverside.
Nice. So I noticed that you guys have the gummies as well.
Yes, we make gummies, different types of gummies.
And then the on-the-go
keychain rims.
Nice.
And is this the name of your Instagram? So people want to, I know you say you do private events, but if you want to just go ahead and get these, because I think these are cool to have.
Yeah.
When you're walking around the swap meet or whatever, a Dodger game. There you go.
Yeah, because the micheladas right there are so expensive. So you add a little bit of this, the regular one, you're straight.
Yeah, we actually have a 12-ounce little bottle or a 4-ounce bottle.
Oh, nice.
So you could take it in your purse as well. And
nice.
Anywhere you go.
What about anything? I remember last time I think I was pregnant when I saw them, and you guys had something that was made out of mazapan.
Oh, that was our. We do aguas frescas too.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
So that my wife did a horchata with a mazapan and Nutella rim on it.
Oh, that sounds so good already.
And then if you drink, we could add a little bit of honey, a little spike, and
that would taste really good. Okay, so he's gonna show us a little bit of how he does his thing.
Okay, so first I get the rim. This is my rim. Everything I make myself, me and my wife.
From scratch.
Yes.
That's good.
This one we have different flavors. We have 3 different flavors: mango, tamarindo, and sandia. Okay. This one's sandia. So what I do is I put the rim. You're gonna see it ooze.
That's a good one because there's some that stay really hard. And
they get real thick, and then you end up feeling like you have to take a bite out of it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying, but I like the way that one.
It's better.
Thank you. And then I put the ice, like around right there. Crack open. Oh no.
More room for beer.
Yeah. First is a mix. This again, we make our own mix around right there, and the rest.
And after you open it, do you have to refrigerate it, or is
Yes.
it? Yes.
Yeah. It's after opening, and then we get the beer, pour it in there.
Is it so? Obviously, it's a family-owned business, right?
Yes, my wife.
So
and I, yeah.
it's you and your wife doing everything, preparing everything. How long does it take? Like, if somebody wants to order a big, place a big order, how long would it take for you guys to have that ready?
2 days.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So just hit us up on Instagram for now, and they give us what they want, and I'll give them a date, and we usually we'll take it if they're local, or if they place a big order, then it's the right thing to do, and we'll just take it to you.
Yeah.
And then, this is mostly it right here. We stir it, get everything mixed. Put a little bit of tahini. Lemon wedge.
Nice.
Straw. This is a tamarindo stick, and what I call the bow tie to finish it off.
Oh.
Nice.
There it is.
Thank you so much for
Nice.
coming on to the show, and don't forget to link up with them on their Instagram. Once again, what is it? Micheladas.
Micheladas.el.Changez.
Nice. Thank you so much.
So I knew for sure when I left, I was like, nah, I can't do this. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do this. And then, you start getting into politics with it, and you're like, no. I'm gonna go out there, and I have children, and I'm gonna be gangster mom, and I'm gonna be gangster for my family. And that's what it ended up turning out. But for so many years now, having that felony, and not wanting to go back to, doing what I was doing to get me in prison to even get that felony, I went to, nightlife, bartending. I danced for many years. I was a stripper for many years. Did that before I found my husband, and we ended up starting a family, and that's kind of what took me out of when I got closer to 30, I stopped dancing. So I'll say for a good 8 years, I was either bartending at these local strip clubs and all throughout LA County, or I was dancing at them. And it wasn't something, that I wanted to do, but it was, at that time, everybody was telling me like, girl, I can't get you in, or, if I was thinking about things, even, I've always wanted to help. I don't know, I probably should have been a nurse, but I can't do blood, but I do like helping people. So I thought, maybe I could go into the justice at juvenile, but with that felony, they're not going to let me go work on the other side, So, I did that for many years. It was quick money. It was what I could do. But then I met my husband, and we started having a family. So that puts me at 30. And, at that time, my mom's from Texas. She had left in 97. She left California in 98. I don't know. But she left California, and she went back to her hometown. So I always had that connection that if you need to come out here, mija, you could come out here. And so at 30, when I didn't want to do the nightlife anymore, I was like, well, it's cheaper over there. So if I'm going to do some entry-level job at, your local Motel 6, well, then I might as well go do it in a state where I'm going to pay cheaper rent, because it was too expensive in California, and we were living in the ghetto. And
did you ever find yourself applying somewhere and then?
All the time. When I got to so the biggest, this is kind of my turning point to where I wanted to start doing nails. So I got to San Antonio, I started applying for jobs. I got hired at a Chase call center, right? So I got hired at Chase, it's a bank, right? I did lie on my application. I didn't even put that I had a felony, because I had gotten turned down so many other times. I'm like, I'm gonna see if they, maybe, I don't know, what's the worst they can do? Fire me, which ended up happening, but nonetheless, so it went, I want to say I did that job for like 3 weeks before they found out, and, they called me into HR, and, pretty much just told me, that, number one, that I lied on my application, and they obviously ran my, you know what I mean, record, and they can see that I clearly have a felony, and it's a, you know,
because I think back in the days, actually, they would hire you first, and then they would do the background check.
Yes.
So it would take like about 3 weeks.
About that time, right? So I'm thinking I made it through the cracks, and I'm like, you know, and I wasn't even, and that's the thing, you know, at some point you gotta be able to, you know, hear somebody out. Like, don't just look at me as black and white. Yes, okay, so she's got this felony, right? Not 10 felonies, we're talking 1. But you know, I don't know if they can see you've been to prison. I don't know what they see, but at that point in my life, we'll say maybe already now 4 or 5 years has passed. A solid 5 years had to have passed already, right? Because now I'm 30. This happened, I think I got out of prison in 2004. So here we are in 2008 or 9, and I'm applying for these, or no, 2010. And I'm applying for these jobs, and they're just, you know, not looking at the fact like, okay, maybe she was young. Like you're a different person when you're 18 years old. I'm not the same woman that I was when I was 18 sitting in front of you at 40 years old. You know, I've made bad decisions. I've, you know, been a lot of things in life, right? So even at that time, when 5 years has passed, you would think that, well, you know, let's give her a chance. Maybe she's not out there stealing cars anymore. Maybe now, listen to me, I'm a mom now. I have 2 children. I'm a married woman. I'm not in the street. You know, if you get to talk to someone and you hear their story a little bit, you might be more, oh, okay. So you're not just Antoinette with this felony, and maybe we can give you a chance and hire you, because clearly you've been here for 3 weeks and I haven't robbed the joint, right? So, but I was tired of it, and I was like, I'm literally not gonna get anywhere. So that's when nails became kind of a thing. I went to a salon, and this was in Texas. I went to a nail salon, and the lady doing my nails was Hispanic. And so I was like, how is this happening? I really thought it was just a hobby or a thing amongst Vietnamese. I really thought that, you know. So she was like, I went to beauty school, and I was like, you can learn nails in beauty school? And she was, I thought it was just for hair. Again, you know, just not knowing, not having the information, or not being told there's things out there. When I left prison, they weren't like, you know what, here, instead, you know, that guard that told me, I'll see you in 2 months, instead of being like, hey, you know what, my sister does hair, why don't you check this beauty school out and get you a little job, get you a little career or something, that way you don't come back. You know what I mean?
Keep information, unfortunately.
Because you want to see me come back, right? Because you want, anyways, but yeah, so she wasn't gatekeeping. Actually, the lady that told me, Liz, she's in San Antonio. We're still on cool terms.
Shout out to Liz.
She actually was the first person that I rented a table from. Nice. So my actual first step into entrepreneurship was it was at a hair salon, and it was my friend, or the lady that I'm telling you about that was doing nails. It was her friend, she did nails and her friend did hair, and she had an extra desk, so she rented me out a spot. She was like, come on, like, wow, like, you really did it. I sat in her chair, this true story, sat in her chair, and she was like, yeah, go to Vogue, went to, you know, I literally did it. I was like, I'm gonna do it because nothing else is working. Yeah. And I'm starting this family. I don't wanna, you know, kids, they're going to watch this interview one day and know, you know what I mean? But I'm not scared to tell my story. You know, my story is what's made me who I am today. Right. So I'm not embarrassed to say what I've done. But at the right age and at the right time, you tell your kids a little bit more as they get older, as time progresses. So
would you say that you're transparent with your kids about?
I'd say so I have 5 kids. So my 13 and my 21-year-old, I'm a little bit, my 21 full on knows a lot. You know, unfortunately, at the age that I was when I had her, I didn't, you know, you're young. Now, again, 40 years old, I'm thinking, gosh, how I get why they tell us don't have kids at a young age. Like, I wasn't a woman. I wasn't cooking, you know, I wasn't doing that. No, I was partying. You know, that's what you do when you're in your 20s, right? But at the time, I'm not thinking, oh, wow, this is bad. No, I thought it was great. Leave her with her aunt for a couple of days, 3-4 days at a time. You know, I mean, to be honest, that's what I was doing at that time. But I wasn't a wife. You know what I mean? I was a mom, but there were times where I probably wasn't a mother.
Yeah.
But I started to realize that as I started to become a woman, and I'm like, these aren't the things that I want my daughter seeing. I don't want her going in my closet and seeing the clear heels, and you know what I mean? I'm like, no, put those away. She's like, Mom, what are these? I'm like, you know, so those are the kind of things that I was like, I just, you know, I couldn't do it anymore. And again, Liz was like, go to Vogue. Go do nails. You know, Lita will hire you. That was the lady that owned the nail salon, Lita. So I did. I went to the school. And when I went to the school, I had to get it. So beauty school goes by hours, right? So we'll say I had to complete 650 hours of like book time, doing clients, to get able to go take a test, you know what I mean? So you have to have those hours logged in, and someone's got to sign. So that's what beauty school does for you, sorry. So I couldn't, you know, they tell you, oh, you can finish the program in 12 to 18 months. I don't got that time. I'm not 21. Even at that time, I'm feeling old. I'm like, I don't have 12 months. I just moved here. I got to get a career. Because when I was sitting there getting my nails done, I'm counting the money that's coming in and out. And I'm like, okay, this is nice. This is more than even me, you know, at these entry level. Like, this is nicer than even trying to go start at 13 back then, you know, maybe $13 an hour. It was a good little entry level. But anyway, so I had to get in and out. And for whatever reason at the time, probably shouldn't be saying this, but I mean, I did. There were times where I pulled 13-hour days straight up. Just, I need to be here so I can get out. So I finished in like 3.5 months just doing it. I mean, literally being there. And they knew, they were like, dang, Antoinette, like, you're really going to stay. But I was committed. One thing about me is that when I commit, I'm going to go hard. You know, I don't half step. You know, I might half step getting there, but once I'm committed and once we're on it, then I'm on it, you know. So when I started beauty school, I promise you, I mean, I can't make this up, but I did. I finished doing 13-hour days, you know, and there was girls like, you're going to stay, because you would either do like an 8:30 to like a 2:30 and then the evening class, but I did the whole day just staying there, and I don't think I was supposed to. I think they probably tightened things up, because they were like, I mean, the ladies there were like, wow. You know, I feel like from the start of my career back to beauty school, there was a lot of people that looked at what I was doing, and I don't think they believed that I was really going to do it. You know,
they judged you.
They judged me, but when they see me doing it, like what, like that late, when I went and got my license, she was like, well, I'll be damned, girl, there's your desk, go sit down. And
it's nice to have somebody to like pretty much guide you through anything that you want to do.
Yes. Is
that something that you're looking forward to doing?
100%. Just because that's what that's what I want to do. That's what my spirit tells me to do. That's what I want to do. I want to be able to get people at a younger age, you know. I want to be able to talk to the 18-year-old me and do that. Like I sold you that guard. Like, hey man, like you could do that. There's, you know, and you don't got to necessarily do nails, but that, you know, like there's so many other trades, you know, that you can get into, you know, rather than thinking, man, I gotta go to college, and then I can't do this, and they're not gonna hire, and I gotta, you know, most people, you rent is due every 30 days, even if it's your mortgage, you know what I mean?
There's so much pressure when it comes down to, you have to have everything by a certain time.
Right.
Or you have to go to college. And then you go to college and you don't even stay.
And they're still in the same position. Thinking, what do I do with this degree? Because now when I go get hired, you know, they're gonna be like, well, I gotta start you. I mean, honestly, think about it. That's how I feel. You know, sometimes the degree, and I'm not talking about, you know, if you're doctor, lawyers, engineers, you know, things like that. Yes, you know, but sometimes, unfortunately, I feel like a lot of our youth is pushed into that as well, like I gotta go to college, you know, but then they end up, you know, not really even putting to work their degree. So I'm more into trade. Find, you know, a trade that's gonna pay you well, but you enjoy doing. And there's so many trades out there that I don't have to go through a background check. Nobody can tell me no anymore. Nobody could say, call me into HR. You know, now I want to call people in and help those girls and like I said, talk to that 18-year-old me and let her know you can do this too.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So, when you first started officially, how many nail sets were you doing a day? And how much were you charging?
I mean, whatever the nail salons, I mean, back then it was like shellac had just came around. So if you were paying $40 for a set, it was like, wow.
Yeah.
I'd be like, 40.
Right.
But yeah, no, like I said, that was back in like 2014, 15. And, gel had become a thing. But no, if it was regular polish, $15, $20. Now, just like with everything, with the price of eggs, right? Everything's gone up. So nail supplies go up. The things that we're even doing in nails nowadays, like you're not just getting red or burgundy. Now you're having people draw Pluto, and
right?
Right. All in old English letter, so when you pay for people's artwork, right? Artists, they get paid for their, what they're drawing. Those are hand painted. That's hand painted art. That's an art piece,
She hooked up my nails, by the way.
Yes, I did. Not mine, of course, but. So,
when I first met her, her nails were done. And I remember she had this style, and I was just like, wow. I kept looking at her hands the whole time she was talking to me. I was just infatuated with her hands. And
that's how I got good, because I would sit there and practice on myself. And that was another thing. I'd be in the, when it was downtime, I'm like, well, I might as well do my own nails. I like doing nails. So even then, my coworkers, what are you doing? Like you're going to waste the product, Jenny's gonna get mad, or this person's gonna get mad.
So is it easier when you try it on yourself and then you go on to somebody else and do theirs?
I think so. Yeah. Especially learning how to do my non-dominant hand.
Oh, that's hard.
So once I got that down, if I could do my non-dominant hand, I could do my non-dominant hand better than some people could do just a whole set, just all together, But again, it took some trial and error, and it took some years of, being in those nail salons, giving up a lot of commission. Now I'm taking it. Now I got classes. Now I'm looking forward to. I did have a salon right before we moved back over here. I ended up opening up a salon in 2020, literally in January of 2020, when the pandemic was just about to hit. So the pandemic hit. We got shut down. Then we opened back up. We got robbed. Mother's Day.
On Mother's Day?
On Mother's Day.
Oh my God.
Right, on that Sunday, on Mother's Day, we got robbed. And when I say robbed, I mean the place was vandalized. So it left me with not being able to open for business, because I've got my pedicure chair was torn up. I mean, it looked like he was trying to take some copper out of the wall or something, out of the walls. There was holes in the walls, just all kind of crazy stuff. That was in Mother's Day. And then unfortunately, my dad got diagnosed with cancer.
Sorry.
And thank you. He ended up passing away. I was pregnant with my last child. It was just 2020 was it was really hard for me. And my dad was my biggest supporter in all of my nail business. My dad was my biggest supporter. I will say that. He always supported me.
Did you find yourself falling into postpartum depression?
Yes.
How was that?
Very depressing. Because I ended up closing my salon, so that kind of threw a bunch of stress and pressure on me. I didn't have my dad, who usually was my backbone. I can always depend on him to just tell me what to do or have a solution. And at that time, I just felt alone. The postpartum was kicking in, losing the first bit. And I don't want to say losing, because I didn't go into debt over. I didn't lose it, but I walked away from it. And because of COVID, I was able to kind of get out of my commercial lease. Thankfully, without no eviction or nothing, I kind of walked away from it. The property management company worked with me, and he seen what was going on. He was like, he knew my dad. We were really close. So he knew that my dad was home on hospice. He knew that in this industry with the pandemic, you're not really making a lot of money.
Yeah.
There was other businesses, insurance businesses. I was in a little strip mall, so there's a insurance business there, like a dental office. So there were other businesses that were still able to keep business open, right? But it was me and then like a little tattoo parlor, and we were just hurting, because even once the doors opened back up, people weren't just ready to step back out there. And I'm not ready to take people in. I'm kind of scared. I'm pregnant. My dad's home on hospice. I'm like, at the time, you're like, I don't know what this, nobody knew what this virus was. So you're scared to get it, pass it on to your elders. So yeah, when and you know, then I had Dallas in October. We closed down about that
Are you a
time.
Cowboys fan by any chance?
I am. Next year's our year.
It will be. My brother actually was a Cowboys fan.
Oh, really?
Hardcore Cowboys.
Oh,
Yeah.
I had to get my Dallas in. I was actually supposed to name my third daughter Dallas. At the time, my husband was like, he was mad at the Cowboys that year, so he didn't let me do it. So then we had a son, and then finally with my last one, I said, no, I'm naming her Dallas. I named her Dallas, but yes, we're Cowboys fans.
Nice. Obviously, you had your husband. You still had your mom.
Yes.
How difficult was it for you to get yourself? Did you find something that helped you, or you just literally pulled yourself out of that depression?
Well, honestly, she's just turned 2. I feel like sometimes I'm still pulling myself out of that depression again, because I still have, I'm almost like a therapist, right? So I see, we'll say in a busy week when I'm booming, I'm seeing 5 women a day, 5 days a week. That's 25 people. And it's going to be 25 the next week. So so it's 50 people every 2 weeks. I'm pretty much seeing 50 people every 2 weeks, because then they kind of rotate, right? You got to come in for a fill 2 weeks. And I'm here, I can't sit there and be like, oh girl, I can't. I got to, put on a show for you and let you cry to me and tell me, the things that everybody said. And then I open up to other people. That's how me and you met, just talking. So I open up sometimes, but not to, sometimes, you just want to break down. And I got the other kids, and they're, my dad was very, very big in their lives. I mean, to my oldest, that was her dad. To her, that was her dad. And so not wanting to break down in front of them, even when he passed, not wanting to break down because I'm pregnant. So you're like, I can't, I'm like, so I don't think I had I don't think I've had that breakdown moment yet, because I'm so busy working and trying to keep a smile on. And I'm always known as the funny one. And, I got to be a certain way and hold up that image, because that's who I am and that's what I do. Right. So
did you ever find yourself not wanting to go home? Pulling up to your house, post it outside, just...
Yeah, or not even that, just at the salon, just by myself. Everybody leaves there about 4:30, 5 o'clock. So yeah, sometimes I'm just there by myself. Or like even the one in Texas, when I was in Texas, that was my salon. So I just,
So you were telling us earlier about what you have plans.
Yes. So I want to be able to have another salon, right? So I had my salon in Texas.
You're planning on opening here?
I do want to open here.
And you still come?
And I still go back to Texas, right? Because I know people are like, you do, but I do. And they're so loyal, because I am, again, that therapist, right? You start developing relationships with people. I see them sometimes more than I see my sisters. So you develop, I have that many friends. I got 50 friends. I guarantee you I got 50 friends. But yeah, I still go back to Texas every 3 weeks, because I have that many people who are there waiting to get their nails done. And it's been pretty lucrative. When I go back, I'm able to see my oldest, who's 21, who's still over there, and my mom and my sister. But I do want to open up a salon out here, a little bit different. I want to be able to have a salon. I want to have a space where people, like that 18-year-old Antoinette, if you get out of prison, I want you to feel like you can come, you know what I mean? You could come, start working with me. I want to be able to even give out I want to be the beauty school, right? Yeah. I want to be able to not just give you this class and show you how to pick up a nail brush. I want to show you, because beauty school doesn't just cover acrylic nails, right? They're going to teach you marketing. They're going to teach you, nowadays, they even got social media in a chapter in there, right? So beauty school is like 100 chapters, and acrylic is just one chapter in there. So I feel like if I want to get these girls and kind of like mentor, apprentice, to where I can give them the hours, give them their licenses, help out in other areas, right? Because I've been through all kind, you know what I mean? I'm from North Long Beach. I've been, I lived in the ghetto. I've seen all that gang shit. I've been involved in it. I've done a lot, and I've been through a lot. So I can relate, right? And I can relate in a sense where I can kind of guide you. Like, look, things like credit. Nobody told me credit. I didn't know nothing. So you wait until you get a couple of cars repoed when you're 18, 19 years old. And, so not a couple, but, definitely one. But nonetheless, so those are the kinds of things I want to be able to have, that kind of a salon inspired towards my community, towards, Los Angeles County, Latinas, people who look like me, and not necessarily Latinas, but when I say look like me, the minority. Yeah. We all look like each other, right? We're all different shades, but just want to be able to guide them into, a lot of us, like, that's why I even got into I was getting my nails done because that's part of kind of like our culture, right? I'm 40 years old, so I grew up in the 90s, being a teenager in the 90s. I wasn't born in the 90s. I was a teenager in the 90s, and, doing your nails,
with all the, like, the little polka dots and the little stripes. Yeah,
it was part of it. It was part of our whole get down, right? I've noticed the trend is coming back around, but, back then that was what was at the Jumbo Mall, Now they got Forever 21. They have Forever 21 in 1992, 93, you wore some brown cords with some Cortez, and, that's because that's what was at the Del Amo Indoor. And for me, it was Jumbo Mall. We used to go to Jumbo Mall on North Side. So, but I want to be able to, back to kind of what we were saying, I want to be able to catch that girl and mentor them and give them, an opportunity to work for me. I hope that it's so successful that it's successful to them, and give them that space where they're not being made fun of because they're practicing like I got made fun of, and make them work towards, being an entrepreneur, not necessarily me making money off of them. Obviously it's a business, it's got to be lucrative, but I hope that it would be so lucrative that everybody's going to be making money. Why not be the salon where everybody's inspiring others and become like a a chain.
We need a lot of that.
You definitely do, because it's so many people I know when I look back, and I even now that we got social media, a few people that I stayed in contact with in prison, unfortunately I see them, they went back and forth, and you know what I mean, something happened to where it clicked in me, and I got that hustle in me, and I was like, nope, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going back in there. It hurt me too much to be away from my daughter, but I want to be able to inspire others and help others. Sometimes people have, unfortunately, they burn their bridges with their family, or they don't have family. When I was in there, there's people, I was taken care of. I was a little spoiled. I was definitely taken care of, but there was people that weren't, and I was like, dang, that can't be me. And I know it's not gonna. I don't want to say spoiled. I just some soups and some, you know what I mean. I got some new Nikes or something, but in there it is spoiled. But I was grateful. But I knew it wasn't gonna continue to happen. Yeah. It wasn't gonna be okay every time you go. It was like, damn, that's kind of messed up how you got that time. I had a lot. My dad, my friends were there for me. So, but there was girls that I looked around. I'm like, dang.
You want to be that person that you believe in them and you're willing to help them out.
Mm-hmm. And there's good money in this industry, in the beauty industry, period. I look at it, every graduating class, think of how many high schools, and every graduating class, those are all your potential clients. So if Walmart and Target can operate and be across the street from each other sometimes. Food vendors, you go to the swap meet, you go to Alpine Village. You ever been over there by Alpine Village and what is that, Torrance or something? And I mean, they're literally next to each other. Right. Or you go to these events, the people with, hot dogs outside of
Rumble.
But so everybody's a consumer. Everybody's, we're all, that's economics, right? It's all a circle, where I'm gonna buy from you, you're gonna buy from me, and we all need it. We all need each other. And I think it would be a lot easier for some people. And I may not be able to help millions, but if I even help 2 or 3, then I think I'll get into heaven.
So you, huh?
I think I got my ticket. 2 or 3, and I'm going.
You're like, I made up. What do you mean?
Yeah.
You just linked up with somebody. What do you have planned for Mother's Day?
So I'm doing an event with Women in Progress, and it's kind of very much what I was just saying. So it's helping women who are gotten out of prison. They're in, like halfway homes, kind of just help them feel pretty, get inspired, talk to them, do some nail. I'm donating my services. My services are nails, so I'll be doing a couple of the girls' nails, maybe filling them in. Have you ever thought about beauty? Do you like doing nails? But I mean, beauty school is more than nails. So you can tell, girl, you could do esthetician, do them lashes. Lashes are booming. I love to get my lashes done. I go all the way to San Antonio to get my lashes done.
Really?
Yes, Lash by Ronnie. But so I'm doing that with Women in Progress, and I'm super excited about it because it really does that's the biggest payback. And then watching my kids be like, wow, Mom, wow, you really, I don't want to, I know they've seen and they know a certain side of me, but there's another, there's all different sides of us.
Yeah.
And I want to be an inspiration to them as well, right? They're watching me.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't want to be a dancer no more, right? Because I told you my daughter was watching me. So instead of inspiring her to be a dancer, that one I've now inspired. She's like, wow, Mom, I do remember those clear heels. But now look at you. You know what I mean? I got some white Nikes.
Switched it up. So, any of your girls into nails?
Yes. My 2 youngest daughters. And I'm trying to get them like, you guys spend all day on TikTok. You know what I mean? Get on TikTok. I do nails. I literally teach nails.
Yeah.
Do them. But so my daughter, she likes to get the nail tips and do art. One of my 10-year-old likes to do hand painted art.
Nice.
So,
That's great. Well, you guys, this is it for us for now. I'm pretty sure we're going to bring her again, and she's going to tell us how everything went with the Women in Progress.
Yes.
And by that time, she's also going to have her own thing going on. If anybody has any connects that you guys heard her story, you guys saw what she is pretty much trying to get to. If anybody has any connections, don't forget, hit us up. Any one of us, whether it's her, whether it's me, Hertz Media, Ruth, Mauricio, aka Makeup Gangster. I want to thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you.
And I'm here. I'm rooting for you.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate it. So right now I'm located in Torrance at Dolled Up. We're on Torrance Boulevard. My social media on IG is at Net Snail Studio, and on TikTok it's Net Snail Studio as well. And thank you all for listening. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Anytime.